Hello everyone, this is Jordan Bothern. I'm trying something new this week and recording a video instead of sending you guys an email, just thinking that maybe this might be a better way for me to communicate every week and try something new. So with that, one of the things we need to talk about this week is time management skills and, let's see, just one second. Time management skills, decision making, and goal setting. So, that's very important when you come to college, and definitely something that I didn't know or understand. When I came here, I was kind of running through my freshman year not knowing what was going on and just doing things the night before it was due, which reflected in my grades. So, as a senior, my advice is to learn how to best manage your time, and that looks different for everyone. Like, for example, I'm a lot more productive in the morning versus staying up late at night and trying to complete assignments. So that might be something that you need to learn about yourself in high school. So for me, I do try to get up in the mornings and complete assignments and try to start them definitely before they're due as well. And one of the ways that I set goals is I try to do it every 6 months. I write my goals down in a journal. I go through and I kind of think about, are these attainable? Do I need to edit any of my goals? Actually, one fun fact is for this program, we are using goals, and so at the very beginning I set goals, kind of what I wanted to do, and towards the middle of the semester we had a check-in with everyone on the team to kind of go through if the college students were meeting our goals and editing them as needed. And then if I decide like, oh, I set a goal and maybe I'm not going to complete it, or it's not really what I had intended, I need to edit it, then that's okay to revise. Obviously, once you set a goal for yourself, you can change it at any time. So, for example, there's some different things in school that I have goals for. One of them was I actually met finally last semester as being on the Dean's List, which means that you have all A's and do good in school. So my freshman year, as I said, I didn't have a handle on things and how everything was going, and so I decided I was going to start setting goals, and one of my goals was being on the Dean's List. So in order to achieve the big goal of being on the Dean's List, I had to set a bunch of smaller goals, and I started with even something as simple as getting an A on a homework assignment, because you have to start small in order to get those larger goals accomplished. And something I've learned in Cultivate Access was that you can do like a little sticky note like this. For example, I was just doing my homework, and these are some manageable goals that I have for the day. So for example, I just completed a quiz, so I checked that off. And tonight I have to do a discussion board, I have to do a reading, and I have to grade some homework. So that's what I have left for the day, and if you write it down, you're a lot more likely to do it. And another one of the questions to talk about this week is, how do you use decision-making skills to prioritize tasks and goals? This one, I would have to say, nobody has down to a science. Everyone definitely needs to edit their goals, and what you have to prioritize changes on a daily basis. So, for example, we had a snow day yesterday, so super awesome. I got to catch up on my laundry, watch a few TV shows, and get a bunch of homework done in one day. So I didn't prioritize or know that we were going to have a snow day, so my goals were a little bit different before the snow day happened, and then the snow day happened, and I was like, oh, look, I have a whole day to work on all the stuff that I need to do. So, one of the things that I am learning is to not be such a planner and to be a little bit more go with the flow. My fiance is very much a go with the flow person, and I am a planner. So that's something that I'm working on. And in order to prioritize tasks, basically with schoolwork, it's pretty straightforward. It's whatever is due first is what I try to get done the earliest. And then once I kind of have that figured out, then I prioritize tasks according to different things. Like maybe something that interests me more, I'll save for like the middle. Say if I'm taking a whole day and working on stuff, I'll save something I want to do for the middle, so it kind of reboosts your energy and makes you focus more, think more about what you're doing, versus if there's something I really don't want to do, I try to get that done first. And then as far as goals go with that, sometimes in order to meet my goals, I have to go sit in the library for a few hours. And when I do that, I think it's best if you don't sit in the library for a whole day. Honestly, at some point, if you're going to sit there in the whole day, you're going to be very unproductive and your brain is going to start to wander. So what I do is I actually take my planner, which I have sitting here. You guys should see the rest of my desk because it's not this clean. But this is what I have going on so far this month. So I do invest in a nice planner every semester. That's, I guess, one of my goals, or something that I kind of take more seriously. This was my planner last year. Let's see if I can find. And I had this one set up a little different because once I graduate, my life is going to change a little bit. But with this one, you can see there is an hourly way to use this one, and then I set up kind of some goals of things that I needed to get done on the side. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can use planners and things like that, but going back to the library, I actually block off 2 hours of my time, and I will commit to myself and say, for these 2 hours, I'm going to put my phone away, I'm going to not look at any social media, and I'm going to get these, say, manageable tasks done. So if that 2 hours is going to be an hour of me watching an online lecture and an hour of me doing an assignment, then I'm going to have 2 things for me to do when I walk in there. But if that 2 hours is going to be me getting a bunch of really small little tasks done, then I'm going to have a list of those when I go in there. So then by the time you walk out, you're like, geez, I just accomplished what I wanted to when I walked in there. Whereas if you go and sit in the library for hours on hours on hours, like listening to your music, you're not going to be as efficient, or maybe your work isn't going to be as of high quality because you're just sitting there. And then our last question for the week is, what time management techniques do you use? I've kind of gone through them a little bit, but in the professional industry, I do use Outlook, so that's like a little bit of a different topic, but one of the things I do on there is just like my planner. I always keep a hard copy of a planner just because maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, but that's what I like to use. But as far as time management techniques I always plan something out on the week. I really like to make to-do lists on sticky notes and little reminders, things like that. There are a bunch of great apps to use. And then as far as wasting time goes, because wasting time is part of your time management, actually, I really do try to limit how much TV I watch in a semester. I really don't watch that much TV except for on the weekends sometimes, because I know this about myself. After my freshman year, I learned that I am a person who will binge watch things. So if I'm like, oh wow, this is a great TV show, I'm hooked, I will sit there all day and I will not get up and accomplish any of the rest of the things I need to do that day. So you need to know these little things about yourself, and there are a bunch of apps and online resources. One of them that I found recently, instead of me using these sticky notes, is at work I can go through and use this company called Asana. It's online, it's asana.com, and you can make tasks for yourself and you can set it up on a calendar, and it gives you this bright green check mark when you check it off, so it makes you feel good about yourself. So you just kind of have to go through and find what works best for you. As far as setting goals, you want to set goals that are manageable within a specific time frame and have a specific objective. So I can post another video maybe later this week or next week when things slow down a little bit, and talk about goal setting. I'd be happy to do that. And then, yeah, just making sure that you're getting things done on time. If you're noticing you're starting to slip or you're starting to feel really overwhelmed in school, then you need to go back through and reevaluate how you're prioritizing your tasks. Are you waiting until the last second and putting things off to start them, or are you starting them like a week or two in advance? So that's something that I'm actually working with my capstone, which is like the last class you have to take before you graduate, with the guys right now, because they waited until the last minute to start their homework and we're in a group, so I get to do that tonight. But for the journal prompts this week, we want to talk about what are the most significant, surprising, fun, or discouraging things you learned this week. So if I were to answer this question, I would say a discouraging thing would be if you don't prioritize your task properly, or you don't have the right goals, or you're not managing your time. You can be like me my freshman year and have a 2.1 GPA in college, which was very sad. And I went from being like a 4.0 GPA student in high school to a 2.1 GPA student in college. So I realized maybe the tools I was using and things I was doing was not correct. And then something fun and surprising that I learned being in college is that studying does not have to take you all day. If it's taking you all day, then you're not doing it right, or you waited until the last minute, different things like that. So I honestly maybe don't study as much as a lot of my peers do, but that is because when I do study, I put all my distractions away and I focus on what I'm doing. And how do you think or feel about your interactions with your mentor or mentee this week? Well, I'm here to answer any of your guys' questions, and I'm not a mentor or a mentee, but I am an ambassador. And so if you guys have any questions about college or what does this even mean, or maybe if you want to tell me some more about yourself, and maybe we can set up a way for you to kind of set some goals for your end of this semester, I would be happy to help you guys kind of get started in that learning process if you want to. And then the last question is finally, how do you prioritize your goals? So I would be very interested, although I can never read these journal entries, to find out how you guys actually do prioritize your goals. So that's going to be something in the email that I do ask for you to reply back about, is how do you prioritize your goals, and let's have a discussion about it. So thank you guys for listening to me this week, and I hope you find it interesting, and let me know what you think about the video, and if this is a good way for me to explain things. It does take a little bit more of your time probably to listen to it, but maybe it's a little bit more interactive. So thank you so much. Have a good week.